Hello and welcome to Raving Referrals for Real Estate Agents. My name is Randy Cochran and I'm your host today. We're going to show you how to build your business and win more referrals by becoming what we call a referral champion. Have a pen and notepad close by. We're going to go ahead and jump in and kick off today. I always want to stay connected with everybody that joins our webinar series. You can connect with me online. You can scan this QR code on your phone. Also, if you're watching this replay afterwards on our YouTube channel, you can do that as well. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And as always, if you need help with your business, as I'm going to share at the very end, it does not matter if you're with our company or not, we will help you grow your business. I'm really excited today to share with you a proven step-by-step system for a profitable real estate business. The information that we're going to share with you today is going to help you go from referral frustration to referral success. And you're going to get the tools that you need to supercharge your referral business. And we're going to be providing you with these tools for free. So you're definitely going to want to stay until the end of the webinar today so that you know exactly how to get those tools. The information that we're sharing with you today is based on a book called Raving Referrals for Real Estate Agents. This book was written by Brandon Barnum and Verl Workman, two industry experts. And our goal is to create a consistent flow of raving referrals and profitable prospects who really turn into lifetime clients for you. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today is the value of your client. And as I mentioned earlier, have a pen and notepad close by because I know you're all excited today to take a quiz. The bonus resources that we're going to be sharing with you to help you grow your business, we're going to be providing you with a toolkit that's online for maximum results. What you're going to do at the very end is you're going to fill out some information online, and that's going to give you access to your toolkit. This is really a $2,500 to $5,000 value that we're just going to give you today just for joining us. Also, you're going to be getting downloadable guides and worksheets, interactive calculators to help you plan and strategize, actionable checklists to help you stay on track, exclusive tools to help you implement key concepts that we're going to share today, and additional resources that support you on your journey. This is actually what the toolkit looks like. And inside the toolkit, you're going to be able to see all the downloads. You're also going to be able to set your income goal for the year. And then you'll be able to track that not only against this year, but next year as well. That way you always know how you're doing in your business and what we can do to help you accelerate and get better. You're also going to see this electronic daily success habit tracker. We're going to talk a little bit about success habits a little further on in the webinar, but you're actually going to be able to track everything that you do in your business on a daily basis to help you achieve success. Your goal is to get 61 points of rhythm in your business. And if you're keeping track of what you're doing, you're logging the information, it's going to help make your business predictable. Anytime that I'm talking with a real estate agent or a broker and they tell me, Randy, my business is stalled out, one thing that I'm going to ask them for, first of all, is their calendar so I can see what they're doing on a daily basis. And then the second thing is, are you logging and recording the information so that we know where the gaps are at in your business so we can start to build a bridge across the gap. As we go through today's webinar, one of the things that I want you to write down right now in your notes is what is my best referral story? And what you're going to do today at the end of the webinar is we want you to sit down and think about a couple referral stories. And you're going to lock these stories in and you're going to memorize them. When we're out in real estate and people that we know that we're in real estate, anytime that we see them, and maybe it's at the coffee shop or the grocery store or the gas station, one of the things that everybody always says to us is, how's the real estate market? And for a long time, one of my coaches and mentors told me to respond to that question with, we're having a sale. And in real estate, there's a sale every day, right? But that doesn't really pique a person's interest or move them forward. And right now, two of my favorite referral stories are these. One of my referral stories is one of our clients in Arizona. And one of our clients in Arizona was renting. They were a first-time home buyer, and they decided that they wanted to purchase. And one of our amazing agents with our company went out. They helped them find a new construction home, and that home builder had overbuilt in that market area. They helped them negotiate an amazing transaction and ended up receiving $110,000 in concessions off the price of the home. After they moved into the new home, they were super excited and they had a housewarming party and they invited the agent with our company. The agent with our company was able to meet all their friends and family, and because somebody else at the open at the housewarming party said, "Wow, this is an amazing house. How did you purchase this home, and how did that all work?" And when the property owner and the agent explained that they were able to negotiate 110,000 off the price of the home with the home builder, that person at the housewarming party said, "I want that deal too," and they ended up buying a home in that same subdivision next to their friend. Now, if you shared that story with somebody, is that a story that might pique somebody's interest that now is a really good time to jump into the market, even though the interest rates haven't been the most favorable over the last 18 to 24 months? My second favorite referral story also goes back to a first-time home buyer. And this first-time home buyer was living with family. They have a great job, great credit, but really no money saved up because they'd been in school and they were trying to pay down their student loans. Well, we were able to go out and find a motivated seller that this person, and of course, this person were referred to us by a family member that we had helped his parents purchase their home as well. And they said, "I know that you want to buy a home, but you know what? You have to call Randy." And so we went out, we found a property, and it was vacant, motivated seller. We were able to get concessions from the seller for all the down payment and closing costs. And in addition to that, we had a local city grant where that first time homebuyer was able to receive a $25,000 grant from the city to buy a property. And so if you shared that person with somebody that is on the fence about, I don't know if I can become a buyer right now and buy a home. I've heard that the average home buyer is 41 years old. This person's 26. So we just blew that number out of the water. If you shared that story with somebody that said, "How's the real estate market?" That also might be something that might pique their interest. And it also applies to sellers because we just had a person that was referred to our company. Their father had passed away. It was an estate sale. The property needed a lot of work. We priced the home correctly, and because that person was referred to our company by another family member, we put the property on the market. And even though some listings are sitting on the market a little while longer, they ended up selling their property in one day and sold it for way over list price because it was priced right and generated competing offers. So you want to lock in these referral stories to share with people that you're talking to that are going to pique their interest and really make them not only think about themselves and where they're at in their home ownership situation or lack thereof, but everybody that they know. It's a really interesting statistic, and I'm going to share this with you right now, that out of all the people that you know in your database or your cell phone, 3 to 7% of those are going to be involved in some type of real estate transaction within the next 12 months. So think about that. If you have 100 people in your phone, that's 3 to 7 transactions. If you have 1,000 people, now we're talking some serious business. The thing is, though, is we've got to be reaching out to everybody in our database and our phone on a constant and consistent basis and see where they're not only at in their life, but who they know. And everybody's probably heard this quote before. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's actually incorrect. It's not what you know, it's actually who knows you. And it's more important that you remain top of mind with everybody that you know. Today, what we're going to be teaching you is how to attract more leads, referrals, and prospects and partners. Also, how to feel comfortable asking for referrals, how to add a formal referral system to your business, and then create these strong referral partnerships that, again, are going to accelerate your business, not just in 2026, but beyond. As I mentioned earlier, stay until the end. When you stay until the end, you're going to receive a certificate of course completion for Raving Referrals. You're also going to receive what we call our 8651 ebook. This 8651 ebook is going to show you how to close 86 transactions in a year, working with the 50 people most likely to give you a referral, and you just have to commit to this program 1 hour per day. You're also going to have the opportunity to receive a Raving Referrals ebook. This is the actual book itself, but it's in an electronic format. And then you're also going to get access to that Raving Referrals toolkit online that I shared with you on the screen. In addition to that, we want you to do your business planning if you haven't already done it. And we're going to be getting you a business plan workbook that's very, very robust. But in addition to that, you're going to be getting access to a custom business planning chat GPT that's going to walk you through your business plan for the whole year in about 20 minutes. And this business planning chat GPT format does require that you have a paid version of chat GPT, but it will definitely walk you through and we'll get you more about that information as well. Our goals for today are to grow your network, offer your community more value, ask for referrals with confidence, leverage co-marketing campaigns, but most importantly, start getting referrals immediately. We actually want you to get a referral within the next 72 hours. And we're going to give you all the scripts, the dialogues, and the tools to help you do that. Now, I've been in real estate since the year December of 2000. I'm currently the Director of National Growth and Development with Equity Real Estate. We're in 28 states. We have 3 more opening. We're growing nationwide. And I do a lot of coaching, I do a lot of training, and I learned a long, long time ago that if during a presentation nobody gets uncomfortable, then I miss the mark. And so if I do make you uncomfortable today, I'm going to apologize in advance, but growth only happens when we're outside of our comfort zones. Right now, what I want to do is I want to have you think about what your number one business challenge is right now in your business. And I want you to write it down on your notepad. And it can actually be different for everybody. And most of the time, what people write down is enough leads for my business. And when somebody actually tells me that, oftentimes it's not a lead generation problem. What it comes down to is it's a prospecting and referral issue. Because in our business, there's an abundance of leads out there. Like we can go buy leads, and I would never suggest doing that until you get to at least $1 million a year in GCI. But whatever your business challenge is, if we don't cover it on today's webinar at the very end, I'm going to be asking you to schedule a web meeting with me so that we can solve your problem. Most professionals don't get very many referrals because most professionals don't promote themselves consistently. They don't follow up with past clients like they should. They don't actually ask for referrals. And they also don't build what we call referral partnerships. We're going to talk about 2 different types of referral partnerships today. Right now, what I want you to do is write down on your notepad, how many pillars of income do you have for your business? And when we talk about a pillar of income for our business, what that means is 1, where does my business come from? And 2, in that pillar of income, can I hit my annual income goal for the year? So let's say, for example, that your annual income goal for the year is $250,000. In order for a pillar to count, that pillar itself has to achieve $250,000. And I'll give you an example of a couple pillars. And then at the end of the webinar, when I email everybody for all the information from the workshop today, it's going to give you a list of all the different pillars, and you're going to be picking 4 to implement in your business. So our first pillar of income is always our sphere of influence, which is our friends, family members, our past clients. Then the other sphere is going to be our referral sources and our top 50. And believe it or not, those are different. And I'll explain why here in just a bit. Another pillar of income could be expired listings. Another one could be open houses. Another one could be REO properties. Another one could be senior owners. Another one could be first-time home buyers. But you want to build out over time in your business as fast as possible, a minimum of four pillars of income. Because if you have four pillars of income, it's going to take the peaks and valleys out of your real estate business, and it's going to create consistent and constant cash flow. And as we all know in business, cash flow is king. As you're building out your four pillars of income, your pillars of income can come and go over time. Back when the real estate market crashed during 2008, 9, 10, and 11, one of our pillars of income was helping distressed property owners that were selling their properties as short sales. That pillar of income only lasted for about 4 to 5 years, and it was a very, very lucrative pillar. But then that pillar changed. And so we just simply had to replace that pillar with something else. So over time, and the longer that you're in your business, those pillars get to change. And remember this phrase, the riches are in the niches. And you want to think about your market and how to market yourself a little bit differently with a different pillar of income based on what a specialty might be for your business. So, for example, our family, we have an equestrian business, so we specialize in a lot of equestrian type properties. Another might be farm and ranch. Another might be vacant land. Another might be ski in, ski out ski resorts. Another might be a secondary home market for vacation rentals. Another might be luxury homes. So again, think about different pillars of income that excite you, because if you're excited, you're going to be more engaged. And believe it or not, the more business that you're doing in a niche market, the more referrals that you're also going to get in that niche market as well. Right now, think about your number one source of new business. Now, new business is different than business that you may have had for a long, long time and developed over the course of your career. And if you don't have a new source of business in 2026 yet, one of those four pillars is going to become that very, very quickly. When we talk about the lifetime value of a client, it's very important that we understand our revenue per client. And right now, you might not know what your revenue per client is, but you're going to have a little bit of a homework assignment after today's web meeting. And after today's web meeting, what we need to know is what your average revenue per client is. And that can be really easy right now if all you do is take your income from 2025 and divide it by the total number of transactions you have. That's your average income per client, but that includes both buyers and sellers. And that's okay. But what we really need to do is we need to figure out what your net revenue is per client based on buyers versus sellers. And here's why. With a buyer, you only have a very limited number of expenses, and those limited number of expenses for a buyer is going to be auto fuel. Maybe you buy coffee or lunches out while you're showing properties, or you're providing snacks or drinks, and your closing gift. Because with a buyer, really our biggest expense is time. And one of the things we always talk about is ROI, which is our return on investment. If I invest this, I get this back. The most important number, though, is ROT, which stands for return on time, because time is more valuable than money. And when you're working with a seller, you have expenses that you don't incur when you're working with a buyer. Because when we list a property, we have expenses like our sign, our key box, our marketing materials, our just listed, our just sold, staging, maybe online ads that we're running. We're doing a lot more to get a property sold. And of course, both those transactions can also have a transaction coordinator involved, which could be the same or different cost involved. You want to break down what your average net profit is per buyer and your average net profit is per seller and compare the two. Oftentimes, we find that buyers can be more profitable than sellers. However, buyers take that time. And as you start to grow your business, one thing that I want you to think in the back of your mind all the time is this phrase: if you list, you last. If you list real estate, you control the inventory. And for every listing you have, even in today's market, you should generate 1.5 buy-side transactions. So if you work with a buyer and you go out and you work 30, 40, 50 hours with them, you end up with one sale. But if you list a property and you do it correctly and you get referrals and future transactions, it should not only result in 2.5 sides, it could result in 5, 7, or 10 over time. So focus on the listings and the rest will take care of itself. Our lifetime value of a client is going to be different for each one of us because we're in different markets across the country. And in 2024, we took our total transactions for the year in equity real estate and divided that by the number, the income divided by the number of closed transactions. And our average commission transaction across the board for buyers and sellers at equity real estate in 2024 was $11,462. Now in 2025, we had about the same number of transactions that we did the year before. We actually beat it by a small percentage. But what happened was our volume was up, which meant our commissions were up. So our agents in 2025 actually made more money than they did in 2024. But if you look at this calculator that I'm going to be sending to you, where you can put in your average commission, it's going to tell you that if you take great care of your clients and they come back and do business with you again in the future within 5 to 7 years, that's an additional $22,924. And if they come back and repeat the process again so that you're working with your clients over time, your average commission per client earned can be $57,310. And of course, that doesn't include a higher price point at some point down the road. Like that number could be way higher. But if you're also taking care of your clients correctly, and they're also referring a couple clients to you, that number doubles. So now you're at 114,620 with the referrals that you receive. And if you add those up, one client, if you take care of them correctly, could result in $171,930 in total compensation for taking care of one person. The interesting thing, though, about real estate is real estate agents get into the business, and over 75% to 78% of them never renew their license the first time, which means they're in and out of the business within the first couple of years, which doesn't give them enough time to actually realize the value of a client. And when you see that an agent has been in the business for 15, 17, and 20 years, those are the agents that figured out lifetime value a long time ago. And as you're in real estate over time, your income should always continue to go up. It should never, ever go down. Because if, regardless of the market, you're taking care of your clients, you're getting referrals, especially if the price point is going up, you should make more money. Referrals work. People are 400% more likely to hire you if they're referred. 90% of people trust recommendations from people that they know. Referred clients are 16% more profitable than non-referred clients, and 84% of business-to-business starts with a referral. Decades of research show that referrals trust you faster, they refer you more often, they're more loyal, they're more eager to meet with you, And oftentimes they're pre-sold on using you. I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, but maybe you've gone to a buyer presentation or a listing presentation, and during the course of that presentation, you get partway through, and the person that you're presenting to stops and says, "You can stop right there because Tammy referred you to me, or Tammy referred me to you. I trust Tammy. And because I trust Tammy, you don't even have to give me your presentation. Where do I initial and where do I sign? Let's get going." Now, of course, we've had that happen to us in the past. I'm sure all of us have. If that ever happens to you, stop right there and get them to initial and sign everything and commit. But then go back and say to them, "I would be doing you an injustice by not giving you my full presentation, because at some point in time when you refer somebody to me that I might not have the rapport with that I have with you, I want you to see and experience exactly what they're going to see and experience." They need to have the whole experience, because if they don't, they're going to have things that are missing. And then right here on the screen, it says, oftentimes they're more enjoyable to work with, except for family. Now, I don't know about you, but I have sold some family members some properties over the years, and the worst review I ever received was from a brother-in-law. He wrote me a scathing review letter and mailed it to me because he was competing, he was frustrated, he felt like he overpaid and he didn't get what he wanted. But at the time, that was the climate of the market. After the dust settled from the pandemic, I got a phone call that said, "Hey, we settled for a property we didn't like. We want to sell it." And I was very, very hesitant to go through that transaction because of the review that he had given me. Unfortunately, he did not leave that review online. He sent it to me personally. I took that letter out and I read it, and I said, "You know what? I'm going to give him a second chance. And I'm going to still provide the unreasonable hospitality that we provide all of our clients." The second transaction was very different because when we sold his property for way more than he paid for it. And he was very ecstatic to get a good deal on the new property when he bought it. This time the review was very different. The review was, "I'm sorry about the last review. You were right. I should have listened to you and not let my emotions get in the way." So sometimes we're going to deal with that in business, and it's just part of it. Just do the best you can to take care of everybody, even if they're family. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a referral quiz. And this is why I wanted you to have a pen and notepad close by. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through 10 questions. On the questions, you're going to answer the question on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. And as you answer the question, be brutally honest. I'm going to share my score with you when I took this quiz at the very end of the quiz, and be realistic. So here's the first question. What, how would you say that your clients rate the services you provide? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you say your clients rate the services you provide? Go ahead and write that number down. Question number 2 is, how detailed is your plan for generating referrals? Go ahead and write that down. 1 is, I don't have a plan. 2 is, my plan rocks. Question number 3 is, how often do you communicate with your clients and referral partners? Question number 4 is, how consistently do you ask your clients and professional network for referrals? Question number 5 is, how consistent are you at tracking the referrals you give and receive? Whether that's in your database, spreadsheet, notepad. Question number 6 is, how consistent are you at thanking people that give you referrals? So think about all the people that give you referrals and how do you thank them? How consistent are you at updating the people that give you referrals about the referrals they give? And when I got to this question at that time stung for me. And the reason why is I'd received a referral from an agent in California. Her name's Elle. And she had referred a client to us that she had listed their property and it was pending under contract. They were moving to Utah, to Salt Lake City area for relocating their family and coming here for employment. And they had flown up here and we went out and shopped for homes. They landed on new construction. It was a property that was about 3 weeks away from being fully finished. And we went pending under contract and everything was in process. A couple weeks later, Elle reached out and she said, "Hey, how's it going?" And we said, "It's great. We're pending escrow. Looks like we should be done in a couple weeks. Everything's going as planned." And the phone got silent for a second. She said, "Were you going to tell me?" Because everything that we were doing in Utah affected the sale in California. And so we dropped the ball and something fell through the cracks. So we found a problem that we needed to fix. And you need to make sure that you're always updating everybody that gives you a referral during the whole process, whether they are moving forward or just say, "You know what, I've changed my mind and now's not the right time." The next question is, how consistent are you at rewarding people who give you referrals? The next question is, how consistent are you at recognizing people who give you referrals? And finally, question number 10 is, how consistent are you at promoting yourself and your referral partners? So you should have 10 scores written down. What you're going to be doing is you're going to total up your scores. The total score that you can get, the highest is 100. And of course, the lowest is 10. Hopefully nobody gave themselves a 0. As you total up your referral score, and you don't have to share your score right now, but I will share with you, my score was a 33. I thought I was a rock star at referrals. And after I took this quiz, I came to the realization that I wasn't good at referrals. I taught a live class, and when we teach our live classes, they're about 2 hours long. They're a little bit more interactive because we have a little bit more time. And we actually took a person that was in the class, and their referral score was the exact same as mine. So I felt like we were like twins. And what we did is we went through this little quiz and action exercise. And this is something that you're going to be doing on your own after today's webinar. You're going to look at all 10 of the questions. And then you're going to say to yourself, out of all 10 questions, what are the 3 most important things that I can do or questions that I can work on to improve my score over the next 3 quarters? What we want you to do is pick one thing and work on it for one full quarter and then go to the next thing. Everybody's probably heard you eat an elephant one bite at a time, not all at once. And when I asked this agent in class what 3 things that she wanted to work on first, she said, first of all, I want to work on the one question with the lowest score. And that was, how consistently do you ask your clients and professional network for referrals? And she said, I don't. And so if it's a 1 now, what does a 10 look like? And what does that look like for you? She said, I want to feel more comfortable and I need a script for asking because I feel like I am always flying by the seat of my pants. And so we gave her that. The next thing that she wanted to work on was her detailed plan for generating referrals. She wanted to know exactly what she was doing every single day. And then how often do you communicate with your referral partners? She wanted a schedule and a detailed written strategy for follow-up newsletters. And so we were able to provide that as well. Now, as I mentioned, you could work on one of these over each quarter, but if you're like me, uh, like I want to go faster. And so if you want to go faster, you can work on two or three things at one time. But if you start to get overwhelmed or you feel like things are falling through the cracks or you're starting to drop the ball, slow down. It's better to do it done imperfectly than try and make it perfect all the time. Don't wait and try and get it perfect. Your real estate business is a lot like building an airplane in flight. And as you're flying, we're going to have to fix things that break in the air. And sometimes these are some of them. Jeffrey Gitomer from the Little Black Book of Connection says, all things being equal, people want to do business with their friends. And it's fun to do business with your friends. And oftentimes, when we meet somebody, they're not a friend yet, but it's amazing how fast you can build a friendship. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to briefly share with you the 7 laws of raving referrals and what they mean. Of course, when you get the book, you're going to dive deep into these 7 laws. The first law is every referral starts with trust. If somebody doesn't know you, like you, and trust you, they are not going to do business with you. Bob Berg from the Go Giver says, all things being equal, people will do business and refer business to people they know, like, and trust. The second law of raving referrals is the more you give, the more you receive. In our business, we call this give or provide service regardless of any opportunity whatsoever. And that's one of the reasons why we do these webinars. We create our ebooks, we post everything on our YouTube channel, and we provide all the tools, all the system, and all the training to all agents, whether they're with our company or not, because we're trying to give regardless of any opportunity. And giving is the key that deepens relationships and really unlocks referrals. Law number 3 is relationships trigger transactions. You want to think about every relationship that you have and how you can take it to another level. Law number 4 is stellar service creates stellar success. There's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidare. And if everybody has the opportunity, they should definitely read that book. I've had the opportunity to watch Will speak live a couple times now, and I've also had the opportunity to meet him, and he's an amazing individual. And he owned the #1 restaurant in New York City in the whole world. So serve, don't sell. Law number 5 is delighted clients refer more delighted clients. If somebody's happy, they're going to tell 3 people. If somebody's unhappy, they're going to tell 7 to 10. And it's a catch-22. The happier they are, oftentimes the more people aren't going to hear about it, but what they do hear is better. If you wow your clients, the referrals will follow. Law number 6 is the fortune is in the follow-up. And this is where most real estate brokers and agents fall short. The sales process, and it's interesting because when I ask real estate brokers and agents what they do, none of them ever say selling. But in reality, all we do is sell all day long. We don't like to use the word sell because it's a 4-letter word. But once we have somebody experience something, at some point in time, you're going to need to ask them to take action. Because if they don't take action with you, they are going to go take action with somebody else that asks. And you need to follow up and follow through. 94% of all sales people quit after the 4th call, yet 60% of all sales are made after the 4th call. Law number 7 is everybody wins or nobody wins. It has to be win-win. And sometimes at the end of the transaction, things go sideways. Your client moves in and day 2 or 3 that they're in the property because it's been vacant for a while, they're turning on all the water, they're using all the appliances, and lo and behold, the water heater goes out. That's not That's not a loss. I mean, that's why we have home warranties and that's why we did inspections. So if something like that happens, don't consider that it was great up until closing and funding and recording, but then 3 days later it went sideways. That's not the case at all. In fact, when that water heater does go out, that's an opportunity for you to become even more referable based on how that situation is handled. What we want you to do is we want you to pick the 7 laws of raving referrals and pick one that you want to focus on and implement in your business over the next 90 days. And then after 90 days, pick another one. And of course, if you want to go a little faster, you can pick a couple. But again, if you start to feel overwhelmed, slow down. Action is everything. And as a result of the 7 laws, pick it and go. What I want to do right now is ask everybody who your perfect prospect is and write that down on your notepad. That could be your first time home buyer. That could be your luxury home seller. That could be the senior homeowner that's getting ready to downsize into a 55 and older community. That could be your second home vacation buyer, home buyer. But think about your perfect prospect. Now I'm going to ask you a different question. Who was your best client ever? Your best client ever was probably not your perfect prospect. And when I took this course and I got certified to become a Raving Referrals trainer, when this question was asked, who is your best client ever? The first person that popped into my mind was Kevin and Brittany. And at the time, Brandon asked me, like, why is it Kevin and Brittany? And I said, well, Kevin worked for a dental supply company, and my wife ran a dental practice at the time for her brother-in-law. Kevin would come into the dental practice and he would sell dental supplies to my brother-in-law. And this one day, Kevin came bouncing into the dentist office and he was beaming. And my wife, Susie, said to him, Kevin, like, you look so happy. What's going on? And he said, I'm getting married. I'm engaged to this amazing woman. Her name's Brittany. And we're going to get married. We're going to go on our honeymoon. We're going to come back and buy a house. And Kevin said to Susie, in fact, if I remember correctly, your husband's a real estate agent. Do you think he can help us find a house? And she said, no problem. Would it be okay if I shared your contact information with my husband? And Kevin said, absolutely. So Kevin and I connected. We had a lot in common. Uh, I saw the wedding photos. I saw the honeymoon photos. And then after they came back from their honeymoon, I met with Kevin and Brittany and we went out and we helped find a home. It was new construction. We helped them get into a first-time home buyer program and they purchased. We took really, really, really good care of Kevin and Brittany. But because we took care of Kevin and Brittany, and Kevin is an outside salesperson for a dental company, he is talking to people in dental offices all day long, including dentists. And so all of a sudden, my business started to grow and flourish because of all of the referrals that I was getting from Kevin, not just staff, but the dentists. The dentists were buying really, really nice luxury homes. And because we took care of Kevin, now he's still one of my very best referral sources. We've helped Kevin and Brittany buy and sell 7 homes. We've helped all of Kevin's family members buy and sell homes and relocate and get referrals. And all of the dentists and staff members and just people that Kevin knows because he talks to everybody and loves to give us referrals and we love to reward him. And that's why Kevin is my best client ever. He wasn't the funnest client. He's not the client that I've also not made the most income on, but he is one of my best referral sources and has become a very, very good friend. When I asked you that question, who came to your mind and why? Probably not the most profitable, may have not been one of your ideal clients, but also think about who you want to work with and what that revenue looks like to you. I had an agent come to me a few years ago, and we were talking about their business planning and their goals for the upcoming year. And when I asked them what they wanted to achieve in the coming year, they said, Randy, I want to double my income. And I said, okay, if you want to double your income, what we're going to do is we're going to find the zip code in your market area with the highest price point, and that's where we're going to focus. We're going to focus on listings. And once we get those listings, we're going to convert them into buyers. And then we're going to start getting referrals in the highest price point possible. This agent went from $8 million in volume to 16 million in volume the next year. She doubled. And then the following year hit 32 million in volume because we did everything correctly. And you want to think about that perfect client: age, gender, income, location, stages of life, marital status, parental status, homeownership status, occupation, hobbies, and passions. Tony Robbins says, let your prospect determine your presentation. And you are going to have to become an expert or a trusted advisor in each segment of your business, which means that you may need to get some additional education, or you may need to learn some additional skills for those market areas. If you take the word learn and drop the L off the front, it now becomes earn. And you're learning today so that you can go out and learn how to get referrals in your business. There are three sources for raving referrals. The first is your clients. And there's 3 to 5 points in time where we can get referrals from our past clients and our current clients. We're going to talk about that. The third is your social sphere. Because we're in a technology-based world now, everybody's online. And your social sphere, believe it or not, is watching every single thing you do, whether they like or comment on anything. We call all these individuals in the background lurkers. And people are lurking at your business all day long. And then you also have complementary businesses and professionals. The art of the ask is, number one, you have to set the stage. You have to be prepared to ask for the referral. Number two is you have to listen for referral triggers. And number three is you have to ASK to GET. Step one is setting the stage. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be asking everybody that you work with, can I ask you a favor? And when you ask for a favor, if they are a friend or a family member or a past client or somebody that knows you, likes you, and trusts you, people love to do favors for other people. What you're going to say is, I work almost exclusively by referral, so I'm committed to giving you amazing service, so you will tell everyone you know about me. Once I've helped you and given you 5-star service, I'd like to ask if you will consider referring me to other people I can help. Now, what we're doing right here is we're actually planting a seed by saying the word 5 stars. And that's because as real estate agents, we get referred by 5 stars on everything, whether it's realtor.com, whether it's Zillow, whether it's another referral website. Everybody's asking for 5 stars. When somebody says to you, thank you so much, this has been awesome, you're amazing, this looks so good, you're a true pro, I love it, those are what we call referral triggers. Or if somebody says to you, my friend is thinking about selling, or my friend is thinking about buying, or do you work in this area, or do you work with home buyers, do you work with real estate investors, do you do 1031 cash deferred exchanges, or do you know anyone that can fix my AC unit or my furnace, or who do you know that can come out and give me a bid to remodel my kitchen? Anytime anybody says any of these are referral triggers. When somebody says that, you're going to ask a leading question. And that leading question is, I've really enjoyed working with you. Do you mind if I ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy would you say you are with my services? And this is something that you should be asking throughout the transaction over and over and over again. And if it's below a 9 or a 10, you need to ask the scary question. What can I be doing or what could I have done differently to make it a 10? I recently stayed at a Marriott hotel, and it was a really, really nice high-end Marriott. And from the time I checked in to the time I checked out 3 days later, they were texting me every single day saying, "Hey Randy, how's it going? What do you need? How would you rate your experience at our hotel on a scale of 1 to 10? Please text us back your rating." Because they wanted to know my experience and if anything was missing. And at the end of my stay, because I'd answered 10 5 times, they asked me for that online review. And of course, if I've given them 10 5 times, it's really hard to go online and leave a poor review because in my mind, I'm like, this has been an amazing experience. When they give us that answer and they say, this has been amazing, you're a 9 or a 10, you're going to say, I'm so glad to hear that. I love helping homeowners buy or sell or invest, whichever it is, which is why I go above and beyond to provide that 5-star service. I'm looking to help more families. Who do you know who might benefit from my help? Now, when you ask this question, it's imperative that you stop talking and let them think about who they know. Remember, everybody that's in your database or in your phone, 3 to 5 or 7% of those individuals are going to be involved in a real estate transaction within the next 12 months. And when you help your clients help people they know, what you're going to say is, if you know anyone who's thinking of selling their home, or if you know anyone who's thinking of buying a home, or if you know anyone who's thinking of investing in real estate, these terms are interchangeable. We would be happy to give them a free market analysis or a free list of properties or a free income analysis to see how much they can sell their home for, how much we might be able to save them off their purchase, or how much they may be able to cash flow per month. We work with lots of investors, so we'd be able to help them sell quickly at a great price, or we're highly skilled in negotiating, and we'd be happy to help them negotiate concessions on a property in a very motivated seller marketplace. Or we work with lots of investors that are selling properties, and there could be a lot of opportunities to buy and resell, or a lot of opportunities to purchase and hold and create cash flow and long-term wealth. Whenever you work with somebody, you're going to be asking for those 5-star reviews. And of course, you're going to put those on Angie. You're going to put them on Bing, Google. You're going to put them on Yelp. You're also going to put them on Realtor.com, Zillow, and FastExpert.com if you're using them as well. You might actually have to ask your client to leave your review on multiple platforms. Now, there are a couple companies out there that will help you with your reviews online, but a lot of those companies charge. If you're doing it correctly, you shouldn't ever have to pay anybody to get a review online. As you automate the ask, you're going to make yourself easy to refer by giving people customized referral cards they can easily share with others. This is a great time to update your headshot on your business card. And on the back of your business card, you're going to write, "I'm never too busy for your referrals," and create a free QR code that goes to a Google form that you've created, that all that person has to do is take your business card, and when they hear of anybody thinking about real estate, they're going to say, "I have somebody for you to talk to." You're going to teach them to take out your business card, scan it. They're going to enter the referrals information on your Google form on Google Forms for free. You're going to get that email, and then the person that referred you is going to give that contact your business card. So everybody that you're working with always has to have a minimum of 5 of your business cards with them. Here are 7 strategies for asking for referrals. Ask who you might help. Ask who they know. Ask who they recommend. Ask them to post and tag you on social media. Ask for a review. Ask if they need help with anything else, and then give them those referral cards. So think about all the 7 strategies we just shared with you, and then implement the one that you're going to try first. For joining us today, we're going to be giving everybody a copy of this 8651 ebook. And when you receive the 8651 ebook in the body of the email that I'm going to send you a link to a recorded video that's on our YouTube channel that's a short video on how to implement this in your business. And you're going to go out and you're going to implement it right away. A lot of us know a person. And how many times has somebody called you and said, "Hey, I need a landscaper, I need an HVAC person, I need a plumber." And you go, "Oh, yeah, I know somebody." Well, all those people that we know, those are what we call active referral partnerships. And that's because we're giving them referrals, but we need to be getting referrals back. Right now, 79% of professionals only have 0 to 2 referral partners. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to ask you to create a top 50 list for vendor referral partners. And for every referral you give them, they have to give you one back. So think about all the people you already refer clients to, people who already refer clients to you, and people that you know, like, and trust, but haven't created that referral partnership with. This is what's called our business alliance. And so for that 8651, we're going to be sending you a tracker where you can track your top 50 referral clients, but we also want you keeping track of your top 50 referral partnerships. It's everybody that complements our business that we're already referring people to, or that may already refer people to us. You're going to make a list, and whoever's missing, you're going to add it to your top 50. What this is going to do is this is going to accelerate your client lifetime value. You're going to formalize your referral partnerships using this script. The reason I'm calling is I have a lot of clients who could use your services. I'd like to meet with you to discuss creating a referral partnership where we cross refer and cross promote each other. Is that something you'd be interested in? I'm doing this with all my mortgage partners. For every refinance or new home purchase client I give them, they have to give me back a buyer. Also, fill in the gaps. If you don't have somebody on your list, reach out to people that you know or your current client database, find out what they do, and ask them for referrals. And if whatever they do complements your business, work with your clients. For example, you could call me up today and say, "Randy, I need tires for my car." And I'm going to say, "You need to call Ken at Big O Tires, and here's his phone number. And I'm going to let Ken know you're calling, and he's going to take excellent care of you." Ken bought and sold his properties with us, and he's one of our referral clients. Because he's referring people to me, I'm referring people to his tire store. Create co-marketing campaigns and co-community marketing events. You should be doing a community event every quarter. We call this unity through community. We want people to feel connected, and coordinating community impact events connects people to each other and show you care. These are our co-hosted family-focused events, whether they're a water park, whether they're a movie theater, whether they're Pi Day, whether they're photos with Santa, whether they're shaved ice at the shaved ice shack. Do these co-hosted family-focused events every quarter. Invite your top 50, invite your past clients, invite your vendor partners, and your business will explode. You're going to be keeping track of your expenses that you invest in your events. We're going to look at your return on your investment, your return on your time, and we're going to tweak those as we move forward. Most of you have probably saw one of the Tom Cruise movies, Mission Impossible. And Tom Cruise is one of my heroes. The guy is just an extreme individual, but he's also willing to get out of his comfort zone all the time. And this is what we're calling our E-Mission Possible. And this says, should you choose this mission to accept it, formalize your referral partners, automate your co-marketing, expand your reach by 10, 20, or even 100 times, promote your referral partners, services, and add more value to all, generate more leads, referrals, and clients for everybody, And what's the number one action step you'll take as a result of this Raving Referrals class? Now, to help you implement this in your business, we have a program called Referral Champion. And Referral Champion is hosted by a master coach named Tammy Slay. And this is a community where realtors build business that run on referrals. We're going to give you a 7-day free trial to participate and join the community. This community meets every Monday for an hour as a group. They call it Juicy Hour. And it's designed to help you stay engaged, get coaching, training, and mentoring, and stop chasing strangers. We want you to start building wealth. We want you to impact your communities and build a legacy through relationships. So what you're going to be doing after the webinar, you can scan the QR code now. This will be in the body of the email. Highly recommend everybody sign up for Referral Champion, even if it's only for a week. But if you can, stay in the program. At the end of the webinar, you're going to get an email from me. In the body of the email is going to be a link to a survey. You can also complete the survey now by scanning the QR code. You're going to get a certificate of course completion, your 8651. And when you fill out the QR code, it says here refer one person and you're going to get the Raving Referrals book. We only want you to refer one. This could be another real estate agent that you know, a vendor partner that might benefit from this information. We'll get them a copy of the replay or the recording. And then we're going to get you the information that you need to register for the Raving Referrals Toolkit. I want to stay connected with everybody today. On the screen here, this is my email address, randy@equity-usa.net. Here's my cell phone number, 801-573-4935. You can call, text, or message me anytime. And then if you ever want to schedule a 15-minute phone call, a 30-minute web meeting, or a 1-hour web meeting, you can scan that QR code as well and schedule online. And as I mentioned before at the beginning of the webinar, it does not matter if you're an agent with our company or not. If you need help in real estate, if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you're struggling, reach out to us and we will help you. Let's all go out. Let's be powerful. Let's be productive. Let's be safe. But most importantly, let's generate referrals. Thanks again for joining me today. We'll see you on another webinar series soon. Bye-bye.